Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. They broke the news, honestly, I think yesterday, maybe even the day before, but WWE is making huge news out of the fact that they're going to be bringing the Royal Rumble back to the Alamo Dome. Of course, this is 20 years later after the 1996 Royal Rumble, which was Sid against Shawn Michaels. This was the Royal Rumble where Stone Cold Steve Austin won his first Rumble. And honestly, in my mind, one of the most coolest Royal Rumble endings of all time, with Austin actually being eliminated from the Royal Rumble, and due to the fact that drunk Terry Funk and I can't remember if it was Mankind or Cactus Jack or, one of the incarnations of Mick Foley were fighting with drunk Terry Funk on the outside, and all the referees were trying to break it up. Austin gets dumped over the top, looks around, nobody is paying attention to him, so he just slips right back in there and throws everybody out. Of course, he would win the Rumble, but then they would do the whole deal with the In Your House. I believe it was called the Final Four, or something compared to that, with the four-way match, including the last four guys that were in the Rumble, and that's how they would pick who would be going to WrestleMania to fight for the championship. Of course, Austin, it helped build him to be a star to win the Rumble, but did not get the ultimate prize because of the fact that he was dumped over the top. WWE, honestly, in my mind, I think that they'll have a close to sellout of the Alamo Dome. Of course, this is where the San Antonio Spurs played. I guess I didn't mean to say past tense, but this is where the San Antonio Spurs play. And if you go back, I don't know what they were thinking. I think they were trying to give WWF a big boost by doing the Alamo Dome. I think Shawn Michaels wanted to headline a big pay-per-view, and I think he wanted to see how strong of a name he was in the wrestling business by having that show in Texas. But a good thing to go by is if you look at the year in 1996 by Jim Cornette. It's one of the is it KC interviews, I think is what they are. They sort of do a year by year. They have one of the wrestlers that was big or somebody that was involved with wrestling during that year talk about everything that happened. It's almost like a yearbook of stories that go through. It's a little bit of a change of the normal shoot interview because, with the shoot interview, you mainly stay with one wrestler and talk about what he was doing. But in these, they ask him about everything that was going on throughout the either the brand, the company, or the year in wrestling. So it's pretty cool. But Cornette talks about the fact that, to be able to have that show at the Alamo Dome, they had to bring out a lot of outside Mexican talent that was going to be able to, draw interest, because just the name WWF wasn't going to be able to bring people in like it did back then. So you see a lot of Mexican stars. I think that Alberto Del Rio's, what the hell was his name? The guy who just went into the Hall of Fame a few years ago. And I can't remember what his name was. But son of a bitch. That's when he makes his debut for WWF at that time. But there's a lot of guys like that on there. Plus the fact that they had to give away a ton of tickets. The cheapest tickets that they had for sale were $5 to sit up in the cheap seats. So all in all, I know that WWF means more. I guess now WWE means more today. It has more name recognition, more name value. I can't guaranteeingly say this is going to be a sellout because this is a large stadium show just for the Royal Rumble. But the Royal Rumble, honestly, in my mind, is the second most important pay-per-view of the year. I like to normally go WrestleMania, SummerSlam, then go Royal Rumble. But, the last few years, the Royal Rumble has meant everything to the point of pointing the direction towards WrestleMania to make it go into that number 2. SummerSlam, to me, honestly, gets a big main event. But for the most part, you're either dissolving feuds that were built up at WrestleMania, or you're having matches that are starting off feuds to go in a direction of who cares, because once you hit September with Night of Champions and the pay-per-views after that, nobody's really paying attention to WWE anymore, unless it's the hardcore fans, because of everything going on with Monday Night Football and just school and life and in general and everything like that. That's when you sort of see fans check out because they think it's dumb at that time because they're not getting the big ratings in order to put big things on television. Like Kevin Owens wins the WWE Championship about a month ago, and we haven't even seen Triple H show up back on television to explain why he screwed Seth Rollins. We're just supposed to make up our own answer and just go along with the flow. To me, that's a big place. I mean, honestly, the Royal Rumble coming up, you can mainly pick just a few guys. This year throws a little bit of a wild card into it because of every year the winner from WrestleMania, the winner of the Royal Rumble goes on to WrestleMania. They broke that tradition last year by Roman Reigns having to put the WWE Championship, which was the second time the championship was on the line in the Royal Rumble, going back to, I believe, 1992, where Ric Flair won the Rumble, becoming WWE Champion. Of course, then he would hold the title and lose it to Macho Man Randy Savage at WrestleMania. And then it would set up the whole Sid versus Hulk Hogan match that went down at WrestleMania 8 as well. It's been a long time, but I think they were going to go back to the same old tradition. Mainly, the guy who wins this goes on to WrestleMania. He fights for the championship. Last year was fun with Triple H coming back, but he said you never know who's going to show up. I think everybody in the world knew that Triple H was showing up and he was winning that Rumble. When he was fighting with Dean Ambrose at the end of the Rumble, I think there was some people that had a hope that Ambrose might pull it off, but I don't think anybody thought that he was really going to do it. If they go back to this year, the one thing that sort of adds to this is if you go back to the years where they've had a Raw and a SmackDown during the branded show eras, the winners all the time weren't locked in to the point of you look at the Rumble and you're like, there's like maybe 2 guys that have a chance of winning this thing, and there's 30 guys in there, so there's 28 guys that really just don't matter along the run. But this year, it looks like unless he wins the championship before WrestleMania, everybody's guess is probably going to be Roman Reigns to win the Rumble, and everybody will boo, have a fit, and say that they're gonna turn off the network and not order WrestleMania. So we all know that's not going to happen. We've been going through this for 3 years where nobody's like the Rumble winner, and it is what it is. But, say Roman Reigns is on Monday Night Raw. Maybe they could throw a wild card in there and somebody wins from SmackDown. And they'll go after the SmackDown Championship. And then Roman Reigns can somehow put the pieces together, whether if it's a Roadblock, whether if it's at the... what the hell's the February pay-per-view? Since they took away Elimination Chamber, I got no fucking clue what it's called. But whatever the February pay-per-view is, maybe he wins some sort of fatal 4-way. Maybe he wins a 3-way. Maybe he just wins a one-on-one match. And he gets to go on and fight for the championship at WrestleMania. So, we'll have to see what the Alamo brings. But lots of talk about the big one going down. We'll see who gets tickets. You live in Texas. It's probably somewhere you want to be. Peace out, everybody.